and we don't want to feel like no one else. Like, we're gonna pay for the section ourselves.
Okay.
And we're not gonna let no man in and start drinking our liquor.
Okay.
Like, what the fuck? Like, if you send over a bottle, cool, thanks, congrats. It goes on your tab. Most of the time, almost all the time, I'm not speaking for like every time, but all my friends go home. We go home and we go finish out the party after.
Here's the thing. I want you to really listen to what I'm about to say now.
No, because you're just, go ahead.
Sassy as fuck.
Sassy!
I miss you too. I miss you too, Meg. All right? I miss you too. All right. When you go to the bars and clubs, how many niggas you approach versus approach you?
None.
Thank you. Okay, pause. No, stay right there for a second.
I hardly ever see women approach men.
Okay.
I see more men approach women than I do men.
Yes, 100%. So a girl's game is not going to the bars and clubs and approaching men. A girl's game is going to the bars and clubs and just being there in that vicinity. A girl's game is being on Instagram throwing thotty pictures.
Where else are we supposed to go to have fun?
The restaurant or bowling alley.
The restaurant? Oh no,
we can't just go into a nightclub where we meet other bad bitches and have fun too. Period.
Okay, let me ask you the same equivalent for a guy. Would you be okay?
I'm talking about bad bitches the same gender.
No, listen.
Same gender.
I'm gonna ask y'all the same
confusing genders
question.
right now.
I want to ask y'all the same question. Jordan, go in the room. I'm gonna ask you the same question. So, would you be okay with your dude going to bars and clubs and talking to women?
No. I said the same gender. I said talk. That's where I said
no.
You didn't listen. I said two bitches. I didn't say two men. I said we go to the club. We see other pretty women. We talk to them as girl on girl. I'm not arguing that. But you try to make the reference. If my man goes to the club and starts entertaining all these bitches, that's not him networking or even fucking. He's just entertaining.
I'm trying to get you to understand the equivalent of the two. Since your game is just putting yourself in a position to be gamed, that's how you flirt. That's how you get dudes. Is putting yourself in a position to get dudes, right?
I don't know. I can't.
No. Let's stay one thing at a time. Do you agree with that first?
No, I can't. I cannot relate. I literally cannot relate.
So
I
you go to dudes. You talk to dudes.
You know me. I have went to the club not giving a fuck. I went in sweats. I went with no makeup. You think I'm going to? But you gotta think I'm one woman. You think I'm the only woman out there that's like this?
Again, you're not answering the question. No.
But that is answering the question. That is answering the question. I'm not going in to catch these males' attention. I went in to go have a drink with my fucking.
It does okay, but again, your game is putting yourself in a position to be gamed. When you like a dude,
that's what I'm trying to tell you. Not every time I go to a club, like, oh my god, I want to put myself out there for a man. 90% of the time,
but the club is designed for that specific purpose.
I'm sorry. Bottom rats, they do go to the club because why the fuck would you want even? Because why the fuck would you want? Why would I go into the club to find a good man? Why would I go into the club and be like, let me find a great man in here? Let me go scope out a great man. So I'm sorry. Yeah, bottom rats, whatever the fuck I call it.
Okay, but that's not the argument. I want to be clear about what the argument. The argument is this: you are putting yourself. She said, "I need a shot."
I feel like it's going in circles.
No, it's not, because you're not listening. I want you to listen very carefully. Majority of women, right, that get dudes, they get approached by dudes, whether it's in person or on Instagram or on social media, right? Mm-hmm. So your game is just putting yourself in the position to be gamed. That's how you flirt. That's how you get dudes. Our game is actually putting ourselves in a position and talking to that person. So you can't compare your game or with our game. And it's just equal. It's not equal. So for you to say, oh, I can go to the bars and clubs and I'm not initiating talking to dudes, so it should be okay. But you going to the bars and clubs and initiating talking to dudes, that's not okay.
That's not how it works. It sounds like a man's problem, honestly, because if I can't go to the club and enjoy myself without having men come and harass me because they feel like the club is a cattle farm, whatever the fuck,
then that's your
problem. That sounds like a man's problem. That sounds like a
personal problem.
It sounds like a gender problem to me.
But that's
if you feel like every woman that goes in the club is cattle, and just because she came in here, that gives me the right to go up and talk to her, and she's bait. That sounds like a man's problem.
First of all, that's again, I do understand what you're saying, which is the blah, blah, blah about talking to him, et cetera, blah, blah. That's not my argument. My argument is very clear. I don't understand about speaking Chinese. For you to flirt.
I understand what you're saying. You're saying that we basically put ourselves in an environment where we are
supposedly
gamed at, right?
Yes,
but
that's how you flirt.
This environment is not like every person that goes in there, because I am in here at the bar having a drink with my friend, I could have a guy come up to me and I could cold shoulder him as fuck. Even if he offers to buy me a drink, I don't want you to buy me a drink. I can buy my own drink. Like, so, but because, and you think about, we live in Atlanta. Where, let's bring it to reality a little bit. We live in Atlanta, okay? So where are all the places? The hookah lounges are even bars. So they're even clubs, basically. So you're telling me I can't go nowhere in Atlanta without being seen as a bait pick?
Restaurant.
Oh my God!
Alley,
God forbid! God bless. Thank God that's the only place we can go to in Atlanta.
Bowling alley, laser tag.
But that you see how wrong that sounds. The only place a woman can go. No. Let me finish. You see how that sounds so wrong? The only place a woman can go to and not be bait picked is where? A restaurant. How?
No, I said restaurant, bowling alley.
That is sad. Okay, but that's
talking. Hold on. Let's pause. Because y'all are being crazy.
That's
right
like
now.
being because
y'all are capping. Y'all are capping like crazy.
But no, that's not. That's not.
A bar and club is specifically designed for niggas to try to get bitches. What are you talking about?
That is not why bars and clubs were designed. I'm about to Google. No, I'm playing.
I'm about to say, come on now.
But the thing that I'm trying to say is, men need to fix their view on as if I go into the club with my girl that I am a bait. I am not no fucking bait. This is not no fucking brothel. No. If you want that, go to a brothel and find bitches. But plus for real, like for you to sit here and think. Like, I feel like this is juvenile thinking. For me to, if I even bought my own section, what the fuck makes you think you can come up and talk to me anyway? If I spent $2,000 on a section, what the fuck? Why do I want you in here?
Get out.
Then we only did one question or two questions. That's just funny. But hold on. But I want to finish this. I do want to finish this. Because, again, what we talking about is two different things, right? Again, I want you to be very clear. Whether you agree with what I'm about to say or not, it doesn't matter. It doesn't give a fuck. It is what it is. For you to flirt, it's just putting yourself in a position. That's how you flirt. You put yourself in a position to get flirted with, right? Our way of flirting is going and hunting and going to bars and clubs and actually talking to women.
Okay.
What I'm saying is that's equivalent to each other. Not me going to bars and clubs and then you going to bars and clubs. Those are not equivalent because you have the upper hand in that scenario because that's how you flirt. That's not how we flirt. We flirt by going and talking to people. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand, that when you flirt as a female, which is putting yourself in a position, guys are not going to be okay with that. And there's nothing wrong with a guy setting his boundary and saying, hey, I don't want my girl going to places that's specifically designed for her to actively flirt. It just doesn't make sense.
But why is it okay for a male to do it and a woman can't?
I think men, you know what men should learn? Everyone watching on this podcast, you know what y'all should learn? Y'all should learn body language. Because when it comes to clubs and bars, you should learn body language is when a female does and doesn't want to talk to you.
Literally.
Because that is one of the biggest problems that us as women have.
A guy gonna shoot a shot.
It's sad as fuck, honestly. No,
you say that, but you can never put yourself in those shoes. You can't.
No,
you can't. I go to a gas station. I have to be. If I pull to a gas station, there's hella activity there. Going to another one. You can't relate to that, except if it's at night.
Right, 100%. I can never relate to that. You're right. 100%.
It's the same in a club. Like if I don't want to be bothered, I don't want to be bothered.
Then don't be at the club. I'm gonna be honest.
Nah.
No. Because to me, I'm gonna be honest. Because the grocery store. No. Because the grocery store and then the gas station.
Thank God. Stay in the kitchen. Grocery store head ass.
The grocery store and gas station is different because I get that. I can't understand your struggle that goes through when you go at nighttime. I don't.
So if we have to, have to deal with that, if we already have to deal with that in regular day-to-day stuff,
literally,
there's no reason to avoid the club if we're gonna get that in a regular day-to-day.
No. I'm about to go in. Go ahead.
I can't even go to the fucking car wash without some guy and be like, psst.
Yeah, like.
But
baby, no.
Hold on. I want to say on one thing at a time because we're talking about two different things at this exact moment in time. What I'm talking about is I understand that I can't relate, but I can understand what you're going through, going to gas stations and getting hit on constantly, etc. But at the same exact time, you got to understand, as men, that's our job is to hunt for what we want. So I get that you might have inconveniences of going out, etc. But at the same exact time, I understand the male struggle as well as going and hunting and shit. But my ultimate thing is, if you don't like that type of shit, why put yourself in a position to where that's specifically designed to happen?
Okay,
but you know what?
What you're saying is valid. Like, what you are saying is very valid, but I have mixed emotions about both, honestly.
You know what? I have an opinion. If there's certain things when two genders talk, right?
Yeah.
They have a conversation and it actually makes sense, and the genders come to like a comprehension of the conversation. There's some conversations that don't go and don't clash, and there's a reason for that, because you guys will not understand from the perspective that we are coming from, and we're not understanding from where you're coming from, because there's no, like, we just can't. So I think with this type of topic, it's best to just see eye to eye, because as women, I'm never going to understand that point of view. I don't give a fuck to understand that point of view, because I am going to live my life freely. I'm going to go to the club with my homegirl, have a drink at the bar, ignore every man that comes up, and still go home and live my best life.
But then you're going to be single.
But I'm not single.
No.
So I'm not single.
What I'm trying to get you
No, you can't throw it out there, because I've been doing that. I'm not single.
No, but what I'm trying to get you...
No, but you said I'm going to be single.
What I'm trying to get you to understand...
No, but if I did that, I'm not single now, so what?
I'm trying to get you to understand. Don't get triggered. Don't get triggered.
I'm just saying.
What I'm trying to get you to understand is that long-term relationship, that's not going to work. I'm just keeping it a buck with you. That might work at the beginning, because he might be cool with it, because your pussy might be fire, he might be beautiful as fuck to him, etc. But at some point in time, a man's gonna be like, you know what? I invested in this bitch. I invested in that. This is my girlfriend. This is my wife, or etc. I'm not cool with her doing this, and this. Those are different levels of relationships. So what I'm telling to you is this. As this is why this show is so important. I'm so glad people be watching. I'm so glad I'm actually popular and shit, etc. Is because we both are adding the male perspective and the female perspective. So I get what you're saying about living your life and doing those things.
But it's hold on. You keep contradicting what we're trying to say.
But what I'm saying is it comes with consequences. So you can live your life. You can go to the bar.